Welcome to Everyday Talk with Everyday People. I am your host, Jermaine Smith, aka J Everyday, aka Everyday the Brand. We invite you to go on this walk with us as we talk PCOS, Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, with our guests. So sit with us as we hear their journey and talk PCOS here on Everyday Talk with Everyday People. All right.
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent.
All right,
Cannot
thank
complain.
you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So we can get started. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Name, where you're from, where you grew up, background?
My real name is Ikeeda Garvey, and I go by the name of Kewi. I was born and raised in New York. Raised and currently living in Harlem. Also lived in the Bronx. And I am into fashion. Into fashion. But I'm in the healthcare. I work in the healthcare field.
Okay.
So, I see a lot with women's health, and but my passion is for fashion.
Okay, so tell us real quick a little bit about what made you jump into fashion and what makes you love it.
Well, it's not just fashion. It's more of a style. Like, style, it comes from the soul to me. Like, you gotta have the eye for it. Fashion is kind of like trendy. People jump on a wave with certain things. I'm more of a, unique. You gotta, like one piece item kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So those that know, they know.
They know.
I got you. All right, so I want to jump to another area. We're going to come back to the health field.
Okay.
Share with us some of your experiences and relationships growing up, whether from your teen years to mid-adult years to currently.
Relationships. Well, complicated.
Uncomplicated for us.
So, I haven't been in many relationships. I'm always reserved. I hate to waste my time. Time is one thing you can't get back. So I'm very, keen on time. But the experiences that I've had with men, right? That's what we're talking about.
Any relationship you choose to share.
Okay. Because it could be family, it could be men, it could be like, when you say relationships, do you mean like people in general, or do you mean like...
Let's put them together and then separate them. Let's go with family, friends.
Family, friends. Oh yeah, family, friends I don't have no problems in that area.
Okay.
I'm very close to my parents, mother and father. They both still together. They work my nerve, but they were very heavy.
They're doing great.
Yes, and they're doing good, thank God. But yeah, I see them like once, twice a week. I'm calling them all the time. So that relationship with them is great.
Okay. So let me put it in a nutshell. How has your relationship dating shaped you as a woman that we see you as today?
I'm guarded. A lot of lies. And it's hard to
That told you or that you told?
No, that was told to me.
Okay.
Yeah, that was told to me. I'm pretty transparent.
Okay.
And once I get to know you, I don't just expose myself.
Right.
But once we good, we good. I'm very keen on like truth. Even if it hurts, you got to give it to me. And a lot of men they don't want to display that. They live double lives. They got shenanigans going on. So, yeah, that part is just like
I got you. So being that you said you do work in the health field,
yes.
Explain to us in the health field how is PCOS handled and discussed with your knowledge of it in the health field?
Well, believe it or not, it's not really talked about.
Right.
A lot of people don't discuss it. I mean, I see it in the clinic because I work in a clinic. But a lot of people are like uneducated about it. And again, it's not really talked about. I barely spoke about it. Like, until I kind of like got it under control is when I want to talk about it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, share your experience with PCOS. Oof. Take us to day one. And day one, not necessarily being the day you were diagnosed.
Right.
The day you started feeling different or started questioning what was going on.
Okay, so it started with not getting a menstrual cycle for 6-8 months, right? But then when it comes full blast, like hemorrhaging, right? And then it turns into bleeding for 45 days. Just hemorrhaging. Not understanding what it is, trying to figure it out. Then they diagnosed me with, here we go. Yeah, please. My worst experience, I'm going to say, is I had a cyst on my right ovary that was causing the bleeding, right? Thank you so much. That was causing the bleeding, and it landed me in the hospital. So when they took the ultrasound and I went to the emergency room, they said, you have a cyst the size of a cantaloupe. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody wants to touch it. The doctors knew it was there. They's like, it's functional, but it kept growing till it grew so big that now I got major issues. So I was in the emergency room and they said, somebody has to take, you have to get this removed. Right. Point blank, period. I said, nobody want to touch it. So thank God I inherited from the emergency room this black doctor named Camila Phillips. She is affiliated with Lenox Hill Hospital. She saved my life. Point blank, period. So what caused me to go into the hospital was I ended up with anemia. They go hand in hand. If you hemorrhaging, you losing a lot of blood. So my hemoglobin went all the way down to 3. It was like, I don't know how you still alive, how you still functioning. And they wanted to give me blood transfusions. I refused. So Dr. Phillips came. She said, if you want to live, you have to get those blood transfusions. Right. She woke me out of my sleep in the emergency. They had admitted me at that point. And I said, coming from her, and she's young. Right. It was like the best thing I could have done. She's like, if you don't want to bleed out, your hemoglobin is at 3, which is not good. So that pretty much happened. Got the blood transfusions. Then I started to see a hematologist. I had to go once a week to get infusions. Right. So all of this is going hand in hand. And I'm still like, what the heck is going on? But I went to see her outside of the emergency room, right? I went to her office. And she's like, we're going to remove it. Okay. I said, she's like, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to do a laparoscopic. I'm going to do it through your navel. You'll be out next day. She removed it. I never had a problem since. Never had a problem since.
What age was this?
Well, this was in 2011.
Okay.
In 2011. And ever since that day, I've had a normal menstrual cycle. It comes on time. Right. I bleed for 3 days. There's no hemorrhaging, no nothing. Right. She pretty much saved my life. Yeah. Wow. But that goes hand in hand with the PCOS. Mm-hmm. Women, we go through facial hair. Ugh. Which is terrible. Nobody wants to grow hair on their face. A hormone unbalance, hemorrhaging, bleeding for long periods of time. You kind of just don't want to deal with relationships. Right. That's why, too, I was a little reserved. Who's going to understand what I'm going through? Right. So, yeah.
And I was going to ask you, how was the emotional support if you were in a relationship from family, from friends? Because it's not something you can disclose to everyone. It's not a common conversation.
Right.
So how was the emotional support, if any?
I had the emotional support. People that were close to me, they knew. Mm-hmm. and they were there, but I wouldn't be in a relationship. I wasn't.
Right.
I didn't want to. So, yeah. Until I got it under control and figure out what's going on, I didn't want to be in a relationship.
And that was because you didn't want anyone in your space? Or
yeah.
You didn't feel you could reveal it to someone, or?
I think it was a combination of both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that's definitely emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And physically draining as well.
Yeah.
And the family support was?
Oh, yes. My mother, even as an adult, she was hand in hand. Hand in hand. Birth control, shots, all kind of stuff. Yeah. Then you had to see dermatologists because now you got issues on your skin.
Right.
So it's
and it pulls you away from people.
Yes.
So did you kind of go into like a shell for the most part?
I did, yeah.
And that was pretty much at home. How about when you were at work? How was life?
Life was normal. Life was normal. It was more so once I got home and everything just
closing on
you. Yeah.
How was that experience at home when those walls were closing in? What would you advise to a young lady or another woman, an adult woman that might possibly going through? What would you advise them in the midst of it?
I would say don't wait. Don't wait. Don't let people tell you, or doctors tell you that, oh, it's functional, or delay your health. Don't let nobody do it. Right. Get a second opinion. Get a third opinion. Go into somebody can give you an answer. I did that. I waited. Oh, they don't want to touch it. All right. Another year go by. I'm still bleeding. I'm still, Then you have accidents outside. Who wants to bleed outside?
Right.
Like, literally, if I sit down, I was like, I got up, so much blood.
I had to look out clothing all the time.
Yeah. I even had to, this is crazy, but I had to wear a diaper. Mm-hmm. That's how bad I was bleeding.
For 45 straight days.
Yeah, it was bad. But I'm so grateful. So grateful. Amen.
Brought you a good way.
Huh?
I say brought you a good way.
Oh, a good way. Excellent way. I feel better than ever. And I still see a hematologist just to make sure my hemoglobin is good. Right. It is now at 12.5. Thank you, Jesus. All the way from 3.
So for those that might not know about hemoglobin, can you explain to them the process of it and the need for it to be at a good level?
Well, the need is you pretty much need it to function. You need your blood. Mm-hmm. You will basically bleed out. It's not, what do you call it? It's not, I'm sorry, I'm just lost for words. I'm not sure if red blood cells, white blood cells, I know one of them have to reproduce and it's not reproducing once it leaves. So that causes the whole anemia thing. Please don't quote me, but I believe that's what it is. I know that the iron infusions are like amazing. Like you get fatigued if you don't get it. Like once your hemoglobin is down, you pretty much don't want to do nothing. You don't have the energy to do anything, nothing. Like you just in Slumville all day. So once I started getting the injections, I was like, oh shoot, like I could go here, I could go around, I could move around. Very energetic. But when I didn't have it, I was so like, and it puts you into a depression. You kind of get depressed.
So with the fusion, are there any pros and cons to it? We know the pros definitely.
I don't know the cons. I never experienced anything bad. No, like some people they say like you might itch or you might, but I never had a reaction. It was always like a good one. It was a good one. Yeah. And I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
I want to jump back to the doctors.
Oh.
At any point, did you beat yourself up or feel bad for yourself for not having the cyst removed earlier? Just listening to the doctors saying they don't want to touch it, don't want to touch it?
No. I'm just, back then I wasn't too like in tune with, women's health or I was taking care of myself if something happened.
Right.
But sometimes you need a tune up and you got to just make sure everything is good. I wasn't like that. Something always had to happen in order for me to address it. Yeah, so that's pretty much. So when they said, oh, it's functional, take the birth control will stop it. They would give me like a Band-Aid for it.
Right.
But nobody was fixing the problem. Nobody had a solution.
Right.
And so it got out of control. It was big. And then thank God, Dr. Phillips, she said that I can have kids. She's like, I saved your ovary.
Right.
Everything is good. You might need a little boost if you really want to have kids, but for the most part, whenever you're ready to go, let me know. So she did all of that and end up saving my ovary and tell me I can have kids. And, and that's another side, I don't know if it's a side effect, whatever, but a lot of people have complications conceiving.
Wow. And so she feels like you're good to go?
She said I'm good to go.
You're okay?
Once she removed it, she said I'm good to go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do to raise awareness about PCOS?
Talk about it. Talk about experience. Actually, Kiki Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
I was so like,
I saw her Instagram.
yeah, and I actually sent her a DM explaining to her my whole like get up. I was like, I take my hat off to you. For you to even take off your makeup. That was another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Men get on us about hiding behind the makeup and all that. We really go through some shit.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do. But I say, while I was wearing the makeup, I was working on the skin. Okay. But it's internally first. Mm-hmm. You have to take care of yourself inside first. And then you can work on the exterior part. Yeah.
Because from what I'm hearing, some people experience PCOS on the exterior only. And some feel it internally, go through it. And then there's people that go through both.
I went through both. It was tough. I went through both. And again, I got a beautiful black dermatologist, Dr. Delamichael. And she helped me with laser hair removal. She gave me stuff to take orally. She got my skin under control. She also gave me some tips on how to keep the acne under control. So I went to her and she's like, are you using MAC makeup? No offense to MAC, but it's not good for your pores.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I swear by MAC. She said, you cannot use MAC.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, stop using the MAC. So she's like, you got to find another makeup. So I went to Sephora and Cover FX. Really, it's like a vegan makeup. And it's pretty expensive, but it's so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you full coverage. It's not all over your clothes. And, but she said, and I have not broke out since. Since she told me stop using it, I used to break out all the time on my face, on my chin. I haven't had a breakout in over a year and a half. So taking care of everything, even if you got to do birth control for a little bit, just to get it under control. I always say too, if you have cysts, don't let them tell you, oh, it's functional. Don't let them make you wait.
So it's a nonstop process.
It's a nonstop. But once she removed mine, I have not had another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
To head off. Relationship-wise, does it hurt that you can't express what you're going through to someone if you're dealing with PCOS? Because some things that we're vulnerable, we can't just share any and everything because you never know how someone's going to receive it.
Right.
And then, give it back to you, whether it's with love or with distance.
Right.
So anyone that's out there in a relationship, is there any advice you can give them from experiences that you may have had?
So one experience I did have, this is when I was like 19. I was dating an older guy. He's still in my life. He's still amazing. He loved me unconditionally till this day, and knew what I was going through, but it didn't stop him from seeing other people.
Okay.
And to me, since I was going through that, I felt like that was okay. It wasn't okay. Right. As a woman now, but back then I'm just like, okay, whatever, accept it, because I couldn't do my part from the bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. Right. So, yeah.
Gotcha. And how you feel now? You can do your part.
I can definitely do my part.
Okay. So you feel good, strong black woman?
Yes. Well, besides the crying and being emotional. Look, being emotional.
Part of life.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes crying and pain mean the pain is over.
Yes.
You know, so I'm happy.
Actually, tears of joy. Tears of joy. Yes.
There you go. Perfect word, perfect
yes.
word. So going out, giving any advice you can give to your younger self, or a young lady that's out there, a lady of your age, anything you can tell them to not help them suffer in silence?
Talk about your experience. Help others in a sense of connecting them with doctors that you've had that may have did good. I have a family member that's actually going through the same symptoms. She wasn't diagnosed, but going through the same exact symptoms. And I took the day off from work, and this just happened last Monday. Took the day off from work, cleared my schedule, and scheduled her with all my doctors.
Okay.
And boom, boom, boom. And she got an answer. She got an answer right away. I took her to see Dr. Phillips, you know, the whole thing. And she was very grateful. So that's what I mean by giving back and being proactive and talking about it. For her to come to me to say, oh, my mom said you had these issues too. I said, yeah. Let's see what it is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of things we don't share.
No, we don't.
We don't share to help somebody move forward and get back. So that's a beautiful
I felt like I had to do this today.
Yeah.
I'm not really like a whole, you know.
So if anyone wants to contact you, social media, anything, to get some knowledge?
Yeah.
What's the best way that people can reach you?
Well, my Instagram is kind of long. It's
You can say it and we'll spell it out.
Okay. It's Kewi, Kewi, wit, WIT, sex, SEX, appeal, APPEAL, on Instagram. And my Gmail is Kewi180 at KEWI180 @gmail.com. I answered that too.
Beautiful. Do you see yourself being an advocate for PCOS?
I can be.
You can be?
I can be.
Beautiful.
Very passionate about it, and also because I went through so much to get to this place, I feel like I don't want anyone to walk that walk alone. So yeah, I could be.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming and sharing with us.
And thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Hopefully we can help get the conversation going, start some dialogue.
Yes.
And help some other individuals as we help ourselves.
Yes. And connect with doctors. You gotta have. I have such an amazing team of doctors, down to the hematologist. Like, let me know. Please let me know if you need, because they're amazing. They're amazing. And it's very rare that you get that, a whole team of doctors, down to my primary care physician. And how often do you see them?
Beautiful.
I build a whole
team. A lot
team.
of females, a lot of women. Let me say women and females. Are not getting treated because of the possible cost or the coverage that might be in their package, or they don't have the insurance coverage. In conversation, have you come across anything like that?
No.
Okay.
So, pretty much, if you have insurance, it's the only part that may be a little complicated is if you're trying to have a kid.
Okay.
Infertility, a lot of insurances don't cover it, which sucks. Right. I just heard that Medicaid started covering it, like straight Medicaid. So, fertility stuff, yeah, so people could, if they want to conceive. But, yeah, it's usually like they said with the PCOS, you have a hard time. You might need a boost. Yeah. But don't let it discourage you. I was discouraged. Okay. Yeah, that's why I don't have kids now.
You're great now. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been good.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. A pleasure having me. All right. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
And this is your host, Jermaine Smith. I want to thank you for watching another episode of Everyday Talk with Everyday People. Catch us on the next episode. Peace.